Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 stocks that I picked this week where I put $20 into each of those. And in the earlier part of the week, I let M1 do the picking, but in the back half, the Thursday-Friday video, I do the picking. So let's just take a look at the performance overall. Last year, you can see we're up 16.88%, almost $10,000 in dividends over the last year. We'll go to the 3-month view and pretty flat, just up 0.52%. And then over the last month, we've had a pretty decent gain of 1.73%. And then over the last week, looks like it's flat. And then today we've had a little bit of a bump, 0.55%. And I just want to show you something really quick before we go into the activity log to show you those 5 stocks. I noticed that M1 added dividend handling. So in the past, what you had to do is you had to take if you had any buying power, let's say I received a dividend today of $10, I would have to go into the stock, into the slice, and then click on buy. Like for example, I'll go to dividend portfolio. Let's say we're going to add, partial to, let's say, AbbVie. So I'd have to go into the slice, click on the company, and then I'd have to go to the buy, sell, plus sign to buy, and add in my dividends there. But take a look, I'm going to go back to the portfolio tab here, and we can see here's the new dividend handling, and I chose the radio button for reinvest into the underlying security. But you can see the options though of add cash to the account, the reinvestment, which I chose, because that's right now that's my strategy, is to reinvest the dividends from the stock from which it was paid. And then we can also sweep it into that high yield account. Right now it's paying 5%, and then customize per security. It looks like you can do it for some you could drip it back into itself, or some you could just put into savings. So pretty neat. Just wanted to point that out real quick. So we'll go back to the portfolio, and if you're curious to see what's in my portfolio right now, I have 53 different positions divided into 3 slices. I'll leave a link below so you can see what is exactly in my portfolio. So let's jump to the activity log, and here's the 5 buys. Looks like I had an extra cent, so I went ahead and I deployed that. There's the deposit that showed up on the 27th, and then here's the 5 buys. General Mills is the first one for $20, and then Starbucks, I did the $20 plus the penny. Starbucks has been struggling as of late, so I gave it the extra penny. And then Oracle for $20, JP Morgan another 20, and then Cisco, which has been struggling as well. Actually, the ones that have been really struggling have been General Mills, Starbucks, and Cisco. Oracle and JP Morgan have been doing pretty well, but I just want to add to those positions before their ex-dividend date. So click on the Done tab. And again, I'll leave a link below so you can see all of my holdings, and I'll just go through them really quickly. You can see the 53 positions in here. Here's my cost basis and the current value. Here's the unrealized gain. And you can see SCHD is the clear number 1 there. I just did a recent video on their new 82-cent dividend, which is awesome. So I'm going to be getting over $950 just in this portfolio alone. So I'll scroll down here and we can see some of them. VST, NVIDIA up here. Of course, NVIDIA, you can see what my cost basis is, $553, but look what it's worth. It's almost 10 times, close to it. And then AbbVie, I'm not going to go through all these, but you can see what they are. A lot of household names in there, like McDonald's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Lowe's, Hershey's, Starbucks, and all the way to the last. Looks like General Mills is the smallest value in the portfolio right now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click over to my famous Google Docs spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below for this as well. So if you have a lot of different dividend paying stocks and you use M1, this sheet is perfect, and it's also free. And it's very simple, intuitive, shows the company, ticker symbol, share price, average share price, and this is pulled with a VLOOKUP. We're going to do a copy and paste here in a minute, and I'll show you how it does that. Of course, you're going to have to put in your own companies and ticker symbols and things like that, so you're going to have to build your own portfolio first. But once you get it built, trust me, it's worth it. You don't have to type in the individual shares and your average share price, your cost basis ever again. It's going to be a simple copy and paste. You will, of course, have to look up the new quarterly dividends or monthly dividends in those cases if you have like an O or a BST in there. But you can see here I have the gain or loss. Anything above 10% is going to be in the green. And you can see the dividend per share and the yield. Anything above 5% is going to be in the green there. So I'm kind of tracking those high dividend payers. Of course, I have a good mix of those that they pay a high dividend today, but I also have some that pay a lower dividend but have a much better down the road dividend yield because of how they're increasing that dividend. You can see things like Kroger, they just announced a 10% dividend increase, and look at Yum Brands, 10%. You're seeing double-digit dividend increases, and what you'll notice is with positions that pay like a high dividend today, just about every single time, like look at Verizon, 6.41%, but they're historically paying about a 2% dividend increase. I mean, it's an increase, but it's not really keeping up much with inflation. Like something like this, that's 7%. It's going to, even though it pays a lower dividend, it may not take too long for something like this to catch up to the yield on your cost over the long run, over 10, 20 years, let's say. So we can see here, also showing the dividends paid. I'm going to show you the dividends I've received so far in the month of June, $239.86. So you can see I have a big payday coming tomorrow on the 29th. These are all going to pay. And of course, they may not pay exactly this amount. That's why I haven't put this in here, because I may have acquired some of these fractional shares after the ex-dividend date, but it's going to be somewhere around, let's select these, the $500, $520 something mark. So we'll see. I'll, of course, update this when I receive the actual dividends, and I'm going to do a recap video, so subscribe so you don't miss that. Where I recap all my dividends, I will show you proof that I've received the dividends rather than just listing them off or reading them off, which to me doesn't show proof that the stocks are actually owned by the person doing these videos. I will show you the actual proof that I'm invested in these companies and I am actually receiving this passive income. So we can see here like the total dividends, over $7,000 here. But take a look at what I'm expected to receive with SCHD on the 2nd, $958. So it's just going to increase my total dividends there like crazy. And what this did though, SCHD, it kind of, I don't want to say it made me mad, but usually SCHD pays in the last month of each quarter. So in June I was expecting record dividends, and it would have been if they wouldn't have pushed it a couple days later. So oh well, I'll just have a lot larger July than I was expecting. Of course, it's also going to taint the dividends for Q2. It's just going to make the Q3 dividends that much higher. So in the short term, it's going to look like my dividends went down for the quarter, but that's really not the case. And as I ramble here, what I'm trying to get to is we want to track, the monthly cash flow average as well as quarterly and annual. And this is going to go up very modestly because of that $100 deposit that I did. So you can see here right now we're at $988.41. And I want to put that in here because we're going to show this go up. And I also want to put in the current dividends for the 5 positions where I bought more shares. And JP Morgan was one, Oracle was one. We're going to see these amounts change ever so slightly because I'm only putting $20 in per, but we're going to see how much the $20 moves the needle on these. And let's see, General Mills was another one. So we'll put in the General Mills dividend there, $5.83. And we see JP Morgan, Oracle, Cisco, and Starbucks is the other one. So we'll put that $8.99. We're for sure going to get over the $9 mark for Starbucks when they pay their dividend in late August. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab some data from M1, and we're going to post that into the M1 data tab below, and it's going to update the fractional shares of these 5 positions. It's going to add to those, also going to change the cost basis as well as my average share price ever so slightly. So let's go over here to the holdings tab, and I'm just going to do a simple copy over here. I'm going to grab all the data, but it's only really going to change the data for the 5 positions, because the other stocks I didn't add to them, so it's going to remain unchanged. Going over to the M1 data tab, we're going to do a simple paste special in the A column, values only. You can see how this works, where it lines up the number of shares cost basis for every position from largest to smallest, just how it is in M1. And I'm doing a VLOOKUP to pull these 3 values for each of these. You can see SCHD, BST, and on and on. It goes down over, I think, like 1,000 lines. It goes way down. So I don't have to type in those 5 values. So let's go ahead and check and see what the result was. And we can see the new dividend for Cisco is going to be $12.35. So it increased it there. And then Oracle, $5.45. Added a whole nickel there, but it adds up as I keep reinvesting dividends. Oracle increases their dividends, and the snowball just keeps going. We can see JP Morgan, $7.15 is going to go up to. We're going to break the $6 mark with General Mills. They just announced a 2% dividend increase as well. And then we can see Starbucks, finally, they're past the $9 mark at $8.99. We'll see what they increase their dividend to in September. I don't think they're going to do 8%. I think it's going to be more like a 3 or 4% because their sales have been hurting. You can see overall I have a losing position in Starbucks, but I'm long on Starbucks. I'll keep buying it while we're in the 78s. It's been over $100 in recent history. So if Starbucks turns it around in a quarter, 2 or 3, we can see that share price go up and exceed the $100. Of course, we'll see. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what I'm expecting is going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, we can see the 988.41 was the prior value from my monthly cash flow average. So you can see here we added 22 cents. We're going to go put this into a ledger called monthly average dividend tracking. So we're going to carry that 988.63. And this is where I track anytime I do buys, dividend drips, things like that. If a stock increases or decreases their dividend, I log it over here as well. So we're at 988.63. And we'll carry this down here. So 22 cents. Of course, it was just a $100 deposit. I was expecting a very modest gain in my monthly income, so no surprise there. We can see other things like Kroger. That was on the 27th yesterday. They did a 10% dividend increase. That added 16 cents to my monthly income. But take a look at what SCHD did. They raised their dividend from 61 cents to 82 cents for Q2 2024. It added $82.59 to my monthly income every single month going forward. You can see General Mills, like I mentioned, they did a modest 1.7% dividend increase, so added pennies, added 4 cents, but you can see all these little things, they just keep adding up and up. And my average monthly dividend, it's getting close to that $1,000 mark, which is very exciting. We're going to see also on the 1st, I'm going to have all these dividend drips, and I'm also going to do my Monday buy where M1 will do the picking. So we're going to see this increase even more. Especially with BST, with that huge dividend going in, it's going to be like a $476 dividend dripping with Pepsi, FNF, Digital Realty, Broadcom, Union Pacific Travelers, Lockheed Martin, and plus the $100. We'll see what it's going to be. I'm predicting it's going to be well over $3. It's going to add to my monthly income. And then on Tuesday, SCHD, Coca-Cola, Allstate, ADP dividend drip, and an SCHD dividend drip is going to be $950. So it's going to add significant, several dollars as well. So we're going to get closer and closer to that $1,000 mark. So we'll just go really quickly over my total net worth. I don't want to go over it too much in depth. I kind of do it every video. You guys are probably tired of it, but my dividend portfolio that I go over at nauseum in these videos, this is 15% of my total net worth. And if this is load, right now it's at 247,000, and it is represented right here, that dollar amount right there. But you can see everything else I've invested in with these ETFs at Vanguard. I have an IRA, taxable brokerage account, so an additional $438,000 over there. This is my current employer 401k, another $88,000. I have an IRA also at M1, over $647,000 in these ETFs. And then I have a little cash in the M1 savings account, my emergency fund, my Capital One cash. This is my more short-term spending. This is my home value. This is the current balance of my credit card. This is not a balance I carry. I pay it off in full every month. Of course, this is not the case when I was going to college and just got out of college. I had credit card debt like most people do, paid it off, and have stayed out of credit card debt. But I'm not going to pay this off early, but I'm sure as heck not going to incur interest. So I'm going to pay this off here soon. I'm just not going to give them their money early. And here is my current mortgage. So I subtract that out. These two lines are liabilities, so I subtract those out. My other credit cards don't have balances, just this one. I like to use it because it has a 2% cash back. Total net worth, over 1.6 million. You can see how that breakdown is in stocks, home equity, cash. It was at 90,000 not too long ago. Had a paycheck go into my account, so over 91,000. So we'll see at what threshold I start putting money into stocks from this cash and start reinvesting it. I'm not sure what that cap is going to be. I'm sure 100,000 is probably pretty excessive with my current situation, but you can see how everything is broken up. With I have a good position after tax, you should try to determine what that is, because most people, they have everything wrapped up in pre-tax, and you can't access pre-tax very easily if you have an emergency. So you have to have a good amount in after tax to kind of take care of things, or to give you a good cushion, in case of emergency. So that's all I had to show you guys in this video of what my buys were this week. And here's the 5 buys again in case you forgot. So let me know in the comments below what you think of what I bought. Also let me know in the comments and tell me what you bought this week, or what you're going to be buying, because I like to read your comments. And thanks for sticking to the end of this video. Please click the like button if you got value. Also subscribe so you do not miss future videos. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.